With hours to go for the U.S. presidential election, the leads of the Democratic candidate and the Vice President Kamala Harris and the Republican candidate, the former President Donald Trump, have narrowed down to a neck-and-neck competition, and the chances of a photo finish loom large. In fact, polls show that Harris and Trump are running neck-and-neck nationally and in the battleground states. If elected, Harris would make history as the first female president of the United States in its 248-year history, as well as the first black woman and person of South Asian descent to hold the office. Well, the Republican Trump is also confident of a landslide victory as he seeks a dramatic return to the White House after a gap. Here's a report.
A presidential election unlike any other in US history enters its last full day on Monday, with Donald Trump, Kamala Harris and their campaigns scrambling to get supporters to the polls in a contest each portrays as an existential moment for America. Just a day ahead of the polls, all eyes are on the tight race between Democratic nominee Kamala Harris and Republican candidate Donald Trump as they plan to hold rallies in Pennsylvania on Monday, besides touring several swing states. Kamala Harris made her closing pitch for the US presidency at a rally in East Lansing, Michigan on Sunday. She addressed Michigan's 200,000 Arab Americans, starting her speech with a nod to civil victims of Israel's conflict with Hamas in Gaza and Hezbollah in Lebanon.
I want to say this year has been difficult, given the scale of death and destruction in Gaza and given the civilian casualties and displacement in Lebanon. It is devastating. And as president, I will do everything in my power to end the war in Gaza, to bring home the hostages, end the suffering in Gaza.
In Pennsylvania, Republican Donald Trump made a last pitch for support ahead of the 5th of November polls. Trump criticized the US election process and the early voting system.
They are fighting so hard to steal this damn thing. Look at what's going on. Look at what's going on in your state. Every day, they're talking about extending hours and stuff. Who ever heard of this stuff? We should have one-day voting and paper ballots.
Across the swing states, the competition between Republicans and Democrats remains razor thin. In Iowa, a new poll shows Kamala Harris putting ahead of Trump, but another survey suggests the Republican nominee still holds favor in many other key battlegrounds.
Well, this is the first time that we've had Kamala Harris in the lead, so that by itself was a shock. We polled in September, and she had closed a gap from our previous poll when Joe Biden was on the ticket by 14 points.
Meanwhile, churches across Ohio have been using their sermons to promote the power of voting during Sunday services. According to churchgoers, the benefit of talking about politics during services is it starts a discussion about local issues. Churchgoers discuss which candidates suit their needs locally.
The education that's provided through the church helps individuals connect the dots between what this vote means and how it impacts.
In Milwaukee, a city in key Midwest battleground state Wisconsin, an estimated 5,000 Sikh population resides. Voter Kulwant Dhaliwal insisted he takes his right to vote seriously. Dhaliwal, one of the nearly 500 worshippers at the Sikh temple in Oak Creek, said he likes knowing that his vote carries some weight.
I voted, I think, about a month ago. So, absolutely. We have people are dying to have this vote, right? So become citizens of this country and have a vote.
Ahead of Tuesday's vote, security forces across the capital have been put on high alert. Workers were seen putting up additional security measures outside the White House and the official residence of the Vice President. Outside the White House, which already has fence and barricades, workers were putting up additional fencing to create a wider enclosed perimeter as Secret Service agents guard the building. This election cycle, some campaigning speeches have contained violent rhetoric, and courts around the country have been inundated with pre-election litigation. Dheeraj Das's report, DD India.